Hey everyone, welcome back to Economics. Today I'm diving into something that almost all Americans know about and probably contribute to, and that's the 401k. Where did it come from? Why it became the standard, and why it may no longer be a sound choice for retirement. So let's break it down. What is a 401k? So a 401k is your retirement savings plan that lets employees contribute a portion of their paycheck into investments, usually mutual funds, on a tax-deferred basis. So the idea is simple. You put money in now, and it grows over time, and you can withdraw it later in retirement, ideally at a lower tax rate. And employers often sweeten the deal by matching a percentage of your contributions. All right, so where did this 401k come from? The 401k was originally intended to replace pensions. It was born out of a small section in the 1978 Revenue Act, Section 401k. The provision simply allowed employers to defer taxation on income if it went into certain retirement accounts. A benefits consultant named Ted Benna saw the potential, and in 1981 helped design the first modern 401k plan. And by the 1980s, it exploded in popularity. But why did it replace pensions, though? Before the 1980s, most workers relied on the pensions. So they were defined benefit plans where the employer guaranteed you a fixed income during retirement. But companies realized that pensions were expensive and risky for them. They had to guarantee payments regardless of the market conditions and life expectancy and business downturns. So at the same time, globalization and rising competition basically squeezed profit margins. Businesses wanted to cut costs and reduce long-term obligations. So a 401k shifted that burden entirely away from the employer and put it squarely on the employees. They had no guarantees, just your own contributions and whatever the market delivered. So for corporations, it was a dream. Less liability, more predictable costs, and for workers, it meant trading a promise or a security for a gamble in the stock market. Why I don't think the 401k is no longer a sound choice for retirement. Fast forward to today, and the flaws are glaring. So first, 401k relies on constant growth in the stock market, but markets don't always grow. And if you look at the stock market now, it's highly overvalued, in my opinion. So if you hit retirement during a downturn, decades of your savings can just be wiped out. That's why 401ks would be fine if you didn't have to time your retirement. If you have a 401k, you have to time your retirement to when there's a very good upswing and the market's doing great. Otherwise, you're kind of screwed. And second, inflation's constantly eating away at your real returns. Even if your 401k grows, rising prices mean your money buys less. So meanwhile, government debt and money printing make future inflation almost guaranteed. Third, taxes. Remember, the deal was that you'd pay lower taxes in retirement. But what if tax rates are higher during retirement? With ballooning government debt, higher taxes are more likely, not less. Always, always, always count on higher taxes. And finally, we'll just talk about fees. Many of the mutual funds that the 401ks plans have charge high fees, quietly drain your savings over decades. Workers think they're saving, but in reality, Wall Street's skimming a huge portion off the top. So the Austrian perspective here is 401ks represent another distortion created by government policy. Instead of letting people freely choose how to save and invest, the tax code just pushed everyone into Wall Street's arms. The result, Americans became way more dependent on the financial markets and more vulnerable to the boom and busts caused by the central bank policies. Mises warned that inflation and government intervention destroy real savings. And the 401k has tied the average worker's future to the very policies that create the instability. So here's the big takeaway. 401k is not a golden ticket to retirement. It's a cost-cutting tool for corporations and a policy experiment that shifted all the risk onto the workers. So if you're solely relying on it, you might be in trouble. Diversification, hard assets, and real savings matter now more than ever. Things that cannot be printed, that hold their value, is the most sustainable path for retirement. If you found any value in this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share with a friend.